We are 35 days away from the November midterm elections, probably the most consequential election we've seen in years. President Trump is traveling to South Haven, Mississippi, to host a Make America Great Again rally tonight. Republicans are working to maintain the majority in Congress. Joining us right now to talk more about that is former Republican presidential candidate Herman Cain. Herman, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us.
Hello, thank you.
And you recently launched the America Fighting Back PAC that is working to maintain GOP control of the House and Senate. Where are we on that, Herman? Have things changed? Because we had Kevin McCarthy on the other day, and he said that things have changed drastically, was the word that he used, in the House for the midterms.
I happen to believe that, but we can't take anything for granted, which is why Floyd Brown and I started America Fighting Back PAC. Because we've got to have more voices out there that are going to counter all of the noise, the negativity, and the lies. And the Brett Kavanaugh situation is just one example of how they're going to continue to throw mud up against the wall to see what sticks. That's what they're doing. And so that's why we started America Fighting Back PAC, to help counter the noise.
So, Herman, Mike Belboni, good to see you again. What is your strategy for talking to women in this Kavanaugh debacle on behalf of Republican candidates?
We don't have a strategy for talking to women. We have a strategy for talking to all people. We have an advertising campaign. We also have some targeted races that we are going to target in terms of getting our message out. And we have already produced two types of media messages. One, a call to action, and we are already running those. Secondly, pure messaging about the accomplishments of President Donald Trump and his administration. So we are talking to everybody about the positive results that have already been achieved by this president and his administration that, unfortunately, too many of the liberal media never want to mention.
How much is the economy helping the messaging for the candidates? How many people are focusing on the pocketbook issues?
Big time.
Yeah, you would think so, because look at the alternative.
Yes,
the alternative is socialism, right, Herman? I mean, former President Barack Obama is now endorsing 260 additional Democrats. He did this yesterday. The new round includes New York congressional candidate and Democratic socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Notably, he did not include Beto O'Rourke, the Democratic candidate challenging Ted Cruz for his Senate seat. But look at where the Democrats are going. As you, Michael, point out, a very strong economy. You've got the Democrats all the way to the left, the extremists taking over the party, Herman, and Barack Obama just endorsed them.
Barack Obama is out there because he's looking for relevancy by endorsing people as if it's going to help them. But unfortunately, in many cases, they know that it is hurting them. The other point that you brought up is the whole point about the economy. Yes, it is the economy. People are not stupid. I've been saying this, Maria, you've been saying this, and a lot of people have been saying that. All you have to do is to go back to the midterm elections when President Obama was president. When he was president, they lost a lot of seats. Why? People weren't feeling a better economy. They were not feeling in their lives hope and change. They were beginning to see that it was just a lot of smoke. Well, and if you look at just the median income alone, let me make this point. If you just look at the median income alone, it was stagnant under Obama. GDP was stagnant under Obama. Now people are feeling an increase in the median income from nearly $50,000 a year to over $60,000 a year, a record in over 10 years. They are feeling it for themselves in their lives and their family, and that's what I believe they're focusing on.
I was just going to add that President Obama's energy has never translated into help, for the most part, energy and enthusiasm for Democratic candidates. And I'm not talking about just Hillary Clinton. That turnout in the midterm elections in 2010 and 2014 for Democrats was down 40% from the presidential election year in both of those midterm election cycles. So again, he's a superstar in his own right, but not a star for anybody else.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned wages. We just had one of the leadership at Amazon on. They announced in First on Fox interview this morning that Amazon is raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour for all U.S. employees, Herman. Your take on that? It's not just wages overall on a federal level have gone up because of a better economy. Companies are stepping up as well because they're feeling pressure to do so because of a stronger economy.
Exactly. And there are two things at work here. First of all, companies are doing it because they want to, and secondly, because they have to, not because the government demand it. That is the difference. I applaud them for that move because they've calculated that they can afford it. That's why they are doing it. Secondly, as you know, with this low unemployment, they're also trying to make sure that they keep as many of their good employees as they possibly can. So they have every right to do that, and they're doing it out of business necessity.
Yes, they are. Herman, good to see you this morning. Thanks so much.